Right, firstly, welcome back to my first tunnels polytunnel build, and today we're going to be tackling putting in the foundation tubes on uneven ground, and hopefully this may help other people who've got a similar situation to me. And if you're doing it on your own, there's a few tips and tricks in here that hopefully will make life a bit easier. So let's get on with what we're going to tackle first. First of all, I've got a slope from side to side of approximately 6 inches full. Now, I didn't want to dig the ground out because A, it's a rented field, and B, it's quite clay, and if I dug this flat, there's chance of it flooding. So I'm working with a slope. It's not horrendous, so happy days. So the way I've done this, and I'll go down, I'll show you in a minute, is we set our first tube, then knocked in a pin, and the pin is just under the length of my spirit level. Now, I'm lucky enough to have a large spirit level, but if you've got a shorter one, you just need a few more pins. Knock that pin into level, then knock that pin into level off that pin into level off that pin, and then when you get over to your second foundation tube, you've only got to knock that into level to that one, and we're good. Now, because I had a 6-inch full, First Tunnels, who are absolutely brilliant, I must admit, they sent me tubes for one side that are 6 inches longer. When I ordered my tunnel, I said, what I needed, and they sent out tubes 6 inches longer, no extra cost. Brilliant. Right, so that's the drawing of what we're doing. We'll go down now and look at the theory. Not a theory, this is a theory. Look at it in practice. Right, so previously we'd marked out and dug all the holes. So now what I did was sight the first tube and set the height with the string line. And I've concreted mine in, mainly because it's quite windy here, and also I felt just backfilling it with earth wouldn't give it the stability it needed. So I've done that. I've mixed my own concrete because it's a lot cheaper than buying postcrete. Postcrete, I just looked it up, you're looking £13 a hole, and I've got 14 holes, so yeah, nearly 180 quid. They're just over 180 quid. Whereas the concrete, buying the cement and the aggregate, mixed it myself, I think it was like 55 quid. Right, so like I said, you got a slope from right to left. So what I did is have my level, and just before the end of the level, knocked in a pin. And all this is a bit of threaded bar. I find lengths of threaded bar really useful. So that's what we've done to that pin. Then of course we set another pin, and finally we set this height. Then you're level all the way across. And when you set your pins, just put them just outside of center, so when you're pulling your tape, they're not in the way. And what I've done is I made up what I called a positioning spider. Now, I thought I was bloody genius when I thought of this, because trying to hold the pipe still and get it upright in two directions with your spirit level, it's a bloody nightmare. So what I did was cut out some batten and screwed it together so the hole in the middle was just the right size for the tube. Then with drilled a hole, and with 2 pins in opposite sides of the wood, that will hold that pin exactly in position while you mess around with it, square it up and everything else. Now, like I say, I'm working on my own, so in order to do the measurements correctly, what I've done is I've cable tied the end of the tape to your foundation tube. Now, all the dimensions that first tunnels give you are from center to center of the tube. Now, obviously, I'm on the inside of that. So the measurement at the other end is, this is in this case a 14-foot tunnel, is 14 foot less the diameter of the pipe. All right, and that's what we've got here. 14 foot less the diameter of the pipe, which is 35 millimeters. Or all I did was put the pipe on top of the 14 foot mark and then measure the other side of the pipe. So we know we're good. All right, so in this way I was able to get it level, get it in position and get it upright. And just by using, this is just 2B1 batten, it's meant I can get in around to backfill my holes. All right, so I hope you found that useful. That's how I've managed to get this level on my own, and I can use these in each hole, and next we'll be doing the top holes, and I'll show you how to get that done easily as well. One thing I should have mentioned is when I set this, I just did the one, let the concrete go off, so that when I was pulling my tape, I didn't pull it over. So it takes a bit of time, but that's the joys of doing it on your own. I thought it was better to concrete this one in, let it go hard, and then I can pull my tape nice and tight and it won't pull this over. All right, I think that's it. All right, so the first job is bailing out the water. I don't know about you, but we've had a drop of water. A lot of water. Right, I'll just crack on and get this done. Right, I've shown this before when we marked out the pins, but what I do is I draw out a layout board. So I've got all the measurements I need for the job I'm doing at hand, because my memory is terrible. And First Tunnels is brilliant. In order to get it straight, what they do is they give you the diagonal measurement for your particular tunnel. So I know I'm 30 foot long, and the diagonal measurement is 1009. So all we have to do is position our spider where 30 foot and 1009 intersect, and then we know we're square. So this is what I could do with another pair of hands, really, to be able to show you. So we've got our 2 tapes cable tied to the inside of those pipes, and we know if we go from the inside of one pipe to the outside of the other, that's the same as being central. So I'll just put on this one first. So that point there, 30 foot, and that point there on the cross, 1009, or within 5 mil. All right, we're not building a house here, so there is a bit of leeway, but obviously the more accurate you can get it, and the easier you can get it accurate, the better it's going to be. So that's how I've done it. Position the spider, knocked in our bars. Now I happen to have this stuff here is 12 mil threaded bar. Just got to add some kicking around. If you think, well, that's a bloody good idea, I'll do that. If you're going to get threaded bar, only get 10 mil, because most drill bit sets only go up to 10 mil when you're drilling the hole. All right, so if you're going to do this, you think, well, that's going to make life easy. Yeah, just get a 10 mil bar. And the other good thing with this, because it's threaded, when you're putting your string line on for getting your heights later on, the string will sit in the threads and it won't slip up and down. All right, right, I just got to do the far side one now, because I've got 2 of these spiders. I'll do the far side, check my measurements across as well, double check everything just in case, and then we can put the foundation tubes in and concrete them in. Right, so this is the other side. Done exactly the same with the 2 tapes, the diagonal and the upright, and I've also measured across, and that's 14 foot, so I know the position of these is correct. And now it makes it really easy to put your little spirit level underneath and then square it up and get it upright, because otherwise you've got to try and hold it upright in 3 positions, bang it in and stop it moving. It's a nightmare. But by doing this with me positioning spider, once you put your 2 pins in, that can't go anywhere, and you know you're right. So then you can mess around getting it upright and level in 2 positions easily, and then concrete it in. Right, do that next. Right, I'll crack on and show this out the ground, because it's a lot easier than trying to see me do it lying on me belly underneath there. So slide your tube down through and put on one of these, basically exhaust brackets, and then do it up. Now there's a 13 mil socket, simple as that. Only thing you might find is, because of the length of thread on these, a conventional socket might not fit far enough over to do them up. So I mean, I just happen to have some hollow sockets, but a ring spanner would probably be better than a socket for this. All right, then conventionally, if you're using earth, you put one of those in, a plate over the top, and then another one over the top of that. But because I'm fitting mine in concrete, I've no real need for that. I was going to do it just in soil, but I think concrete would be better. And then we know we've got our top centered, so then all we've got to do is move the bottom around to get it upright. Now, to get it upright, I've had 8 months of planning and saving to be able to afford this tunnel, so I've had a bit of time to think about it. What I bought was a scaffolders level. Now, the beauty of them is they got a V in the middle, so it sits on tube nicely. Also, they're magnetic, so when you're underground, just clips to it, and then we know our position's right at the top because we used our spider. You can move it around, get it upright, then you just slide it around, and then you can get it upright on the other plane. So scaffolders level, quite good, really useful, because we got to use this for uprighting the hoops and all sorts. So especially if you're on your own, I thought this was brilliant. 20 quid off Screwfix. All right, clamps on, brilliant. Right, I'll get on and do it because the weather's closing in. Then all I'm going to do is mix some concrete and fill in the hole. You can figure that out, I'm sure. Right on, that's it. Thanks for watching. Cheers and gone.